Good day, learners. My name is Mr. Makengenene. We are doing algebraic equations together, and today we are going to solve equations using practical questions and application questions. Let's look at the first one in our practice, one of our practice questions. The first one is solve for x if 5x equals to 40 plus 3x. We need to bring x to one side of the equation and the variables, the constant numbers on one side of the equation. So 5x equals to 40 plus 3x. The additive inverse of 3x is negative 3x. And let's write this one properly. 5x minus 3x. And 5x minus 3x gives us 2x. And 3x minus x gives us 0 plus 40, which is 40. And then the multiplicative inverse of 2 is a half. So we divide by 2 on the left and divide by 2 on the right. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 1 multiplied by x is x. 40 divided by 2 is 20. So our value of x is 20 on both sides of the equation. Let's look at the next one. Solve for x in 4x plus 6x equals to 20. Looking at that, we see that these are like terms. So 4x and 6x are like terms. So as we write it out, we'll then say 4x plus 6x is 10x equals to 20. And already we have a multiplicative inverse we can use of 10, which is a tenth. So we divide by 10 on the left and divide by 10 on the right. 10 divided by 10 is 1, which multiplied by x is x. 20 divided by 10 is 2. So our value of x would be 2. Let's look at the next one. The next question is solve for x in 2x plus 7 equals to 8x minus 5. Let's rewrite that our way so that we understand how we are going to use that. 8x minus 5. The additive inverse of plus 7 would be negative 7, and on the left and negative 7 on the right. So positive 7 and negative 7 would give us 0, and then plus 2x will remain with 2x. And then on the right we have 8x, and then negative 5 minus 7, which is negative 12. And then now we are dealing with 8x. The additive inverse of 8x is negative 8x because it is positive. And then that same negative 8x is added on the left as well. So 2x minus 8x is minus 6x. And then on the right, 8x minus 8x is 0, plus negative 12 will remain with negative 12. Then we divide by negative 6. On the left, we divide, which we also divide by negative 6 on the right. Let me take that off. And then negative 6 divided by negative 6 is 1 multiplied by x, which is x. And negative 12 divided by negative 6 is then positive 2. So our value of x on both sides of the equation is 2. Let's look at the next one. Solve for x in 5 plus x divided by 6 equals to negative 1. Again, sorry. 5 plus x divided by 6. Let's write that out. 5 plus x divided by 6 equals to negative 1. And then our multiplicative inverse, let's start with that. Multiplicative inverse, which is the denominator, is already a sixth, so we need to multiply by 6 and multiply the right as well by 6. So when we multiply by 6, 6 divided by 6 gives us 1, so it leaves the whole expression without a denominator. And then -1 multiplied by 6 is -6. And then we can now deal with 5 as a constant term, which is 5 minus 5 plus x equals to -6 minus 5. And 5 minus 5 is 0, so 0 plus x is x, and -5 and -6 would give us -11. That is our value of x in that expression. The next question reads, solve for x in 16 minus 6x squared minus 2x squared equals to 8x squared. Let's write that in a way that we understand it. It would be 16 minus 6x squared minus 2x squared equals to 8x squared. Notice that there are like terms on the left, x squared and x squared, so negative 6x squared and negative 2x squared is negative 8x squared, which equals to 8x squared on the other side. And then that negative 8, the additive inverse thereof is plus 8x squared, and on the right we also have plus 8x squared. And then that would give us negative 8x squared and positive 8x squared would give us 0, so we remain with 16 on the left, and on the right 8x squared plus 8x squared would give us 16x squared. The multiplicative inverse of 16 is 1/16, so we divide by 16 on the right, divide by 16 on the left, and the outcome is that 16 divided by 16 is 1, and on the right we're going to have 16 divided by 16 is 1 multiplied by x squared is x squared. Then we apply the square root sign on x squared to find the value of x, and what we do on the left we also do on the right. We apply the square root sign on the other side as well, and therefore the outcome is that the square root of x squared is x, and on the left the square root of 1 would be either -1 or +1. So x equals to 1 or x equals to -1. Then let's look at the next one. Solve for x in x squared equals to 100. X squared equals to 100. We apply the square root sign on x squared because we want x. So square root sign on x squared, and on the right hand side as well we apply the square root sign, and then the square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 100 is either 10 or -10. Therefore x equals to 10 or x equals to -10. Let's stop there for now and go for an ad break. See you shortly.